What is going on, everybody? Welcome
Yeah.
back to the Entrepreneur Experience. We're so happy that you're here and thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into part 2, where we resume our talk of what we talked about in part 1, which was
dreaming and being successful and all that good stuff.
yeah, really good stuff. And part 2, I'm so excited for you guys to listen to. So without further ado, here we go.
What I'm really trying to say is your dream has to be so strong, attached to your passion. Okay? Something that you are passionate about that like it gets you emotional, because that's what's going to drive you through the ups and downs in your business. If that
Kind of like
vision is so
vision,
clear.
right? So
Yes.
like dream and vision cross over so much. Is there a way to separate those or anything? Like what would you say? Like maybe vision's a little more of like,
Well, vision and dreams are like, hey, this is like the end goal. This is the product that I want. Like,
Okay.
Boom. And I think that could be attached to your vision. And vision's a little bit more than that. Like, okay, vision's like, okay, how's that going to happen? But like the next step is to take that dream, that big vision, that big, what do you call it? The outcome that you want, and then create goals for it, right?
oh,
We all heard the term SMART goals, right? Specific,
Yeah.
measurable, attainable, relevant, and time tested, time measured. Well, that's important. You got a dream. The dream is the outcome. Now it's like, okay, cool. If you really wanted that bad, how do we put very specific goals together that will help you create a plan for it and teach you what you need to learn to get there?
so you're dissecting it. It's like
Dissecting it.
the difference between like a dream and a goal is a goal's written down, right?
A
Isn't
goal's
that a thing?
written down.
So then like
Specific.
your goal is your dream, but it's a big one. It's a big goal. And then you dissect that, right? And you go, okay,
Yeah.
what does it take to get me there?
Yeah.
And then after all those things, you can say, what are the success indicators that like, if I do this, it indicates that I'm heading towards my goal.
Yep.
And that's similar to a KPI, but
A key performance indicator.
that's more, KPI is a little more of like how you're performing. Am I
Yeah.
right?
It's a
So
performance.
like success indicator and KPI are a little bit different, right?
Yeah. And there's all these fancy words and terms. In the reality, it's like you're measuring your goals.
Yeah, that's really the thing.
It's really, you're just measuring it.
yeah.
And you said something like goals are like mini dreams. Yes. So I'll put it to you in a visual perspective. We all heard the term, how do you eat an elephant? One
Yeah.
bite at a time. Okay. So the dream is to eat the freaking elephant.
Okay.
Right? So it's like, I want to eat that thing one day. That's a dream because it stops right there. It's just the outcome. The goal says, okay, cool. I'm going to eat that elephant, and let's be specific about how we're going to do that. I'm going to be specific about it. I'm going to eat that elephant by the end of this month,
Oh,
January 31st, 2024. So there's already it's already specific, and there's a time test. And you can even go more specific. I'm going to eat that elephant starting with the legs by
okay.
boom, right? And then you go measurable. How do we measure it? And then is it attainable? Is it relevant? Right? So we put all those things together. So it's like, okay, this is the goal. I'm going to give myself, maybe it's not attainable in 1 month, but maybe I should get this thing to stretch out to 2 months. So I'm going to finish eating this elephant by February 29th, 2024. I'm going to measure it by saying every week I should be able to eat a certain percentage of it. Right?
Yep.
And then just kind of move on with there. That's why, and then when it's like that, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a little bit easier than I thought,
Yeah.
But then who's ever eaten an elephant before?
And do you actually like it?
Well, I say that question to say, if you've never done it before, just like any dreams or goals that you put in your business, maybe it's not about just taking the first bite. Maybe you have to learn something. Maybe I've never eaten an elephant, but I'm just kind of giving some metaphorical things. Maybe you have to learn how to cook the elephant a certain way to be able to get it as tender as possible so it's easier to eat.
That's a good point because like, what are you going to do with the elephant? Do you even have a truck? Like, how are you going to haul the elephant? Like maybe you're dreaming about that destination, but you haven't thought of the foundational pieces to be able to handle it.
Well, that gets into my next point.
Oh, yes.
Is after you learn what it takes to do that, then you put the plan together, which
Okay.
is, I need 3 semi trucks. I need, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or I need a helicopter to, right? Because now you're learning.
Or I need this to be ongoing. I need it to reproduce. Therefore, we're going to start a farm.
So this is a secret, though, and I did this on purpose. I'm actually going over the formula for success.
You are?
Yeah. Because it's so relevant.
Yeah.
The formula for
so
success.
relevant to the elephant.
Yes. Dreams times goals times learning times planning times taking action equals success.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So the dream is there.
Yeah.
It's the big picture, so that equals success. Once you get there, that's your success, right?
Times the goals.
So times goals. So now it's you take the dream, you put smart goals together for the dream. Then you multiply that by learning. This is the thing. Learning is so important because you can only grow to the level of your ignorance. Meaning, you're not where you are because there's a lot you don't know. Some people want to make $1 million. But do you know what it takes, not just to make it, but to keep it? Are there things that you have to learn? Is there mentorship programs you need to be a part of? Is there books you have to read? Are there skills you have to develop? Are there, right? Things like that. Then you put the plan together because now you've learned enough to know what you have to do, or you're learning a little bit, putting a plan, and then you take action. And you do that enough, boom, you get success.
That's awesome. So there you go. Put that in your Excel sheet and it'll happen.
Yeah. But I love the topic of dreaming, dude. Because I'm so passionate about that because I failed my first businesses because I stopped at a dream.
Oh.
If you really think about it, I didn't know the formula for success.
Crippled you?
Well, I stopped at the dream where it's like, I'm doing all these things to hit my dream, but I had no plan behind it because I didn't know how to put goals together. I didn't want to learn.
Oh.
I didn't want to help.
Yep. That's me in some
plan
areas.
Was like, do I need a plan? No, the plan is just to make money. Like, that's literally what it was.
It's like in an alternate world, like what industry would you love to work in, or what would you be if you just skipped all the training and stuff? And for me, I think maybe a surgeon. Like I kind of
really,
like I actually like the detailed hand stuff, but the time and the research and the energy it takes to get there is where I'm like, oh, I've weighed this dream with other ones, and like,
wow,
I don't want to even pursue, like, it's to the point it's not even a dream.
Yeah.
It's like, but in an alternate world, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Like an alternate version of me. But here now it's like there's too much traction with certain other things, and I've tried it and found passion in it. Because sometimes you don't know you're passionate about something until you try it too.
Yeah. Well, on that, my dream for a very long time was to be an airline pilot.
Oh.
I love aviation so freaking much. As a kid, I remember my grandparents would fly us out to France because they were rich. We were poor here in the United States. And so they had empathy on us and like said, hey, for the summers, we'll take them. So for like 2 months out of the year, we lived in somewhat of luxury, which is really nice to taste every once in a while. But I loved aviation because they would put us on airplanes. My first airplane that I fell in love with was a 747.
Yeah, so you lose me whenever you start saying all the numbers and stuff.
Yeah, for those of you aviation people, you know they call it the Queen of the Sky. It's like the long-bodied one with the big old hump on the top.
Okay, no, tell me the inside. Is it the 4 rows? Is it commercial? Is it
has
small?
3 on each side and 4 in the middle. It's wide-bodied.
Okay.
Yep.
Usually international?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So LAX to France every summer.
See, that I understand.
It was nice. So, yeah, so I actually wanted, but then I was like, I also wanted to be an entrepreneur and I also wanted to be a cop. So I was like, those are 3 different things. And so because of what it would require to become an airline pilot, I was like, dude, I could become rich and then I can just fly in airplanes first class if I wanted to. And, I can always get my private pilot's license if I wanted to, which is a bucket list item for me, by the way. I still want to do that.
Yeah.
So I adjusted that, but I didn't erase that dream. Yeah. So dreaming is freaking huge. But I want to encourage anybody listening to this podcast or watching us, don't stop there. Don't be like the majority of people that have a great dream. It's really fun to kind of think about it in moments of where you need to motivate yourself. But don't stop there. I feel like dreams are something that God gives us because of what he wants us to do in this world. Honestly, I feel that.
Yeah, I like related to that. I believe that your passions are meant to be used to glorify God in one way or another because they're given to you.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some sort of misunderstanding with it, or like maybe it's not exactly that. Like if you're, struggling with it and you don't see how it can bring honor to God or anything.
Yeah.
But dude, there's this guy on TikTok that I've run into, and he's like big into entrepreneurship. I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but if you guys have seen this guy, and he's fun to watch because he's like man on the street style. He's going around with a mic, walking up to random people and saying, "Hey, do you have a dream? What's your dream?" And some people it's like, "Oh, to travel and stuff," and I would love to take photos of really awesome places. And then he goes, "Well, why aren't you doing that?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, because I work in this job." And it's usually the classic answer of like, I'm stuck in the 9 to 5 and all that. Then that would mean I have to quit my job would be an answer, something like that. And he'd be like, he would just kind of tear down the walls of what's stopping you. And that's always a good question is like, if you have a dream and you want it, then what's stopping you? And maybe there's something you just don't realize. Because then he's like, well, do you know that you can get sponsorships? Just reach out to big brands, get a sponsorship and go travel for your photography. They'll pay for it.
Yeah.
I was like, then there, your dream, boom.
So dude, this is such a passion because I was that person. Like when I first started coaching with Coach Carrie Kaufman, Coach, if you're watching,
shout out.
She even reminded me of this story. I forgot all about it. She came to one of my growth clubs a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And she kind of gave a testimony, but I was like, oh, I forgot that. She's actually coming back in March 15th, growth club in Kansas City, baby. Think about coming. Anyways, she said, she was talking to me about my dreams for a business, and I was giving her all the excuses in the book as to why it can't happen for my business because I'm unique and And she's like, okay, Joe, there's somebody out there in your industry that has already proved you wrong. Go find them is your action step, and then call them and figure out how they did it.
Whoa.
Stop whining me about why are you too good to grow? Are you too good for them? Because if you are, why aren't you making the kind of money? And I was like, you're dropping these bombs on me. I feel so emasculated right now. But it's exactly what I needed. Like the reality of it is, if you have a freaking dream, it's worth at least trying to figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
Like,
come on, let's go.
Dude, like, stop giving yourself excuses as to why you can't accomplish the dream that God put in your heart. I'm sorry, dude. I know I'm getting loud.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is so many people in life will die with dreams that God gave them because they think they're too good to let God use them for that.
Oh, dude.
Like, you have a moral obligation to accomplish your dreams. How dare you not live up to your potential? It is that black and white.
Wow. Dude, I'm pumped.
I know. So that's motivation for you guys, but create habits now because we know motivation's up and down. Yeah. But like at the end of the day, like even my mentor, Brad Sugars, told a guy, I watched him, like he does coaching from the stage. He's like, how dare you not live to your potential? And that struck my heart because I'm like, am I living to my potential?
Wow.
Like my dreams.
Do you even know your potential? Like, dude.
Yeah. But the thing is, my dreams are so important. Why? Not just for me, but there's people I need to touch. My dreams are not just going to benefit my family, but benefit so many people. And if I stop, how dare me?
Dude, it's like, you ask the question, like, what happens if that doesn't come true? And then what happens if it does come true? You know? Because
I would rather die trying, dude. Like, at the end of the day, I would rather die trying to accomplish those goals and dreams. Because I know that in my heart, God gave those to me. And now that I know that it's that deep, God gave it to me. And look, if you're not a Christian, you're a creator. Whatever you want to say. But for me, it's going to be my creator, God. Jesus Christ. He gave those dreams to me. And they are to not just benefit me, but to benefit his kingdom and his glory by touching somebody in that process.
Dude, so I have another like side dream But I call it a side dream because it's kind of like, I like the idea of wanting it and kind of pursuing it here and there. But I know I can like see myself accomplishing the dream and then what? And I just don't prioritize it because of that. And it takes a lot of energy and time.
Yeah.
So it's not like my main thing, but it's about like making a movie. Like,
oh, sweet.
I would love to make a movie one day. It's not my main dream, but I like it to be a resting dream at least. I don't know, like there's a little side passion in there, you know, like a side hustle, but it's side hustle passion.
Well, then why don't you put a goal to get it done and then park it, and then when the time's right, bring it back up?
Yeah, that's where it is.
That way the dream doesn't die.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Because we could do that. Sometimes we overdream and over put goals.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Like,
because I could just
the other entrepreneur, the one who doesn't stop, sometimes tries to get too much stuff at one time.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I could easily just start pursuing that and like probably get right into it immediately. So
yeah. But if you do that, it will affect the other side of your business where you make money. So it's like, you got to sometimes park those goals and dreams.
So it's parked, and it's more of a dream for my business to become what I want it to be.
Yeah.
And which is really awesome, guys. Like, I wish I could just share it. Like, maybe meet me in person.
I know it because I coach you.
Yeah. Meet me in person, but
that's awesome.
And I can let you know as long as you sign a confidentiality or something. Non-disclosure.
But I get passionate. I get riled up about that because, dude, like when I meet people, I'm like that guy. Well, why don't you try? Why? You know what it comes down to, bro? People don't like to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So dreams, if you actually put goals and do it, it's actually going to stretch you to where you are uncomfortable.
And then it brings stress. And maybe you don't want to put that sourness into your dream.
Do you
but
like
it's
Elon
like,
Musk?
Dude, that's part of it.
Do you like Elon Musk?
I like Elon Musk.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm speaking to the
I'm going to tell you something
low
really quick.
percentage.
His ex-wife, I forget which one,
I
because
don't
he's
know.
had so many.
I don't know.
His life is interesting, but anyways, one of his ex-wives, I saw a reel, and it was a voiceover. It wasn't her, but she's like, my husband Elon Musk is one of these guys that is able to handle stress so much, and she's like, I've determined that if you really want to be successful, you have to be willing to handle more stress than the average person's willing to handle.
Dude, I grew into like having tough conversations. There was one day, like, I don't know how specific I can get with this because it's public, but there was an issue, and it was me and my wife together had to bring it up to someone, and she's like getting so overwhelmed, and I'm like, Rose, I got this. I've done these hard conversations enough lately that I feel comfortable. Like, I just take the emotion out of it, even if it comes back. I still just walk with my legs and do it rather than just overthink it. Yeah. So overthinking is wrong if there's no action taken. Yeah. That's when you truly
sometimes
overthink.
Being too hasty is wrong too. It really just depends on the,
Yeah.
Especially when confronting somebody. Like, sometimes you need to do it. Sometimes it's like, I got to wait for the right time.
Right.
So they can receive it well.
Yeah.
But, okay, yeah, so handle stress. So going back to it, some people don't really want to pursue their dreams because they also understand what it's going to require of them, and that's going to be uncomfortable, right? Like, your dreams, the reason why you don't have it is because, I'm going to just say it, you're comfortable.
Yeah.
If you don't accomplish it, if you don't go for it, it's most likely because you love your comfort, even if it's not even giving you what you want, dude. Like, how many people are sitting at their jobs right now, not even making $100,000 a year, which is not much, by the way, right? And they're like, well, I'll just stay here. I'm comfortable. I feel like if I just, live within my means. And I'm not saying any of that stuff is bad. What I'm saying is I believe that a lot of us has so much more potential, but we limit ourselves because we don't want to be uncomfortable. That's just like dreaming. Dreaming is part of the potential. But my mentor, Brad Sugar, said, you're in the right place when your dreams and goals both scare you and excite you at the same time.
Oh.
Right? Because your dreams and goals weren't meant to be easy.
Let me test that to mine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
scare the hell out of you,
Yep.
but excite the living crap out of you as well, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes like, I wonder if that's a little similar, you know, like nervousy, or how do you say that? Like nerves.
Nerve-wracking.
When you're nervous versus excited, it's like the exact same feeling, but it's just your mindset. So like, instead of being afraid of it, you can just move around. Like it's energy within you that's wanting to move. And so like I was on stage all the time and there would be like pre-show jitters and all that. And
I get those all the time.
Getting nervous, but all you got to do is just move with it. The more you try to resist, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
And then
Pre-stage jitters, that sucks.
Yeah.
Dude, I always use the bathroom before I go up and speak, or if I'm on the worship team and play.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the minute before I'm supposed to say something, I get nervous and I have to use the bathroom again. I'm like, what the heck? Those are my jitters.
Dude, it happens.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and you just remind yourself, if you've been through it multiple times, and you just remind yourself on the other side.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know this will pass or whatever.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's cool. But a lot of athletes will start saying, I'm excited instead of I'm nervous. Like if someone goes up to them, were you nervous?
No, I was just excited.
I was excited. I didn't know, but that gave me excitement. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's good to be real, but it's like,
Yeah.
dude, say that you're excited instead of nervous.
Yes.
And I wonder if that's the same.
Look, dude, it's all about mindset. So you have to train your mind to what to think. If you choose to be negative and say negative things, your brain will figure out how to find all the negative stuff. So I like that. Instead of saying I am nervous, which is a negative connotation, you could say I am excited. Well, excitement brings nervousness, it brings anxiety.
Yeah.
But you're saying I'm excited, which is like you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, dreaming is super, super important. Just to kind of go over the formula for success again, because it has a lot to do with dreaming. It's like your dreams multiplied by goals, multiplied by learning what it takes to get those goals done, multiplied by putting a plan together, multiplied by taking action equals success.
That's
equals
awesome.
accomplishing the dream. And I'm going to leave you with this too. The formula for life success is this. Be times do equals have. Okay? You got to become what it takes to have success. A lot of times we don't have success because we are not positioning ourselves and that we're not learning what it takes. We're not becoming, you know, we're not networking with the right people. We're not, our environment is crap and negative and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's good. Positioning yourself. I like that.
Yourself, yeah. Multiplied by doing what it takes to get there, like taking action, like figuring out what you have to learn, the classes you have to take, what skills do I have to develop, what, you know, all those things. And you do that enough, you have life success.
Be times do
Equals have.
Okay.
That's the formula for life success.
What's the difference of your, like when you say life success versus like that's just personal or like overall?
That's your overall who you are. I'm an entrepreneur, philanthropist, father, husband, all this kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
Formula for success is very specific to what that success is.
Okay.
Right?
And your other one that you were talking about.
Formula for success.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like sometimes people can mix it up, but life success is the all around how I want my life to look like. And formula for success is very specific to what that success is going to be. Whether it's, you know, a personal success, a financial success, a business success, or something like that. So, super, super important. Be guided by your dreams, but make sure you know what it takes to get the dreams. Because if you're an entrepreneur watching, which you probably are, or listening, you have a dream. And a lot of you are saying, well, how do I get there? Or this is the thing, just don't stop. Get help, right? Listen to this
accountability,
podcast
dude. That's
over and
huge.
over again. Start networking with the right people. Like in 5 years, who you will be is a mixture of the books you read, the people you hang out with, and the actions that you take. Right?
You almost need to feel like you don't belong somewhere, like because you're reaching so high and like where you're networking and stuff.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times you're not where you're at because you don't have the environment to encourage you to get there. Like,
dude, even as little as like officing here and having that big space, it's so different. I'm way more productive, and it's literally just because of the environment.
Yeah, the environment.
You walk in, it's like, even though I'm renting a piece of it, like you walk in, you're like, man, my clients will feel so proud of when they meet me here, and like,
and then you're watching other entrepreneurs be productive. You're like, I want to be productive as the people around me.
Yeah.
And then you go to my office and I'm like, hey, did you do what you're supposed to do? Like, oh shoot, let me go back and do it, right? So, yeah.
Dude, it's awesome.
Dude, it's being so productive. So guys, just remember what it takes to be successful, right? It requires you to do something about your dream. And I want to leave you and challenge you with this. Start dreaming again. Bring those things back up to the surface and ask yourself this question. What am I supposed to be doing in my life and my business to justify why I'm having these dreams? Or what are these dreams doing to guide me to what my true life's purpose is supposed to be? Right? Because as an entrepreneur, chances are you're not really doing what you're passionate about. You might have a skill, you built the business. Some of you are in your passion, and that's okay. But truthfully, your business is a vehicle to give you what you want. And there's always a purpose and a passion and a vision that's greater than who you are. And that's probably why you're dreaming the way you are. It's always attached to that passion and purpose.
So if you want to own a job, like if that is your thing, you're like, I just want to do the thing.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Would you say that's good? If they have wrestled and said why and stuff, and they really just
I would try to deep
work
down and say, okay, well, is that settling? Is there something that happened, a roadblock that you hit, PTSD that you have that makes you just want to settle for that?
Okay.
I don't know. Like I'm not here to tell you that your dreams are wrong. That's not for me to say. But in my experience as a coach and somewhat of a therapist sometimes, is we think too small because of how we were trained or habits we created or the environment always suppressed our dreams. Think about that kid in you again. When you were a kid, what did you think about and dream about doing in life? Because we were much more innocent then, and there was a lot less bad habits that we created at that age. So maybe go back into there and be like, what did I want to do when I was a kid? Like, I love being an entrepreneur. I'm passionate about it, but I know it's because it makes me really good at building businesses that give me money so I can actually go out and help those people in the streets. I also want to build orphanages in the Philippines. I also want to volunteer at soup kitchens and to sponsor kids. Like, literally, my life would be fulfilled if I wasn't running any of my business and I was just out there doing those things and not worrying about money either.
Man, I love the topic of this one. I really want to like bring in someone, and be like, this person doesn't know their passion. This person doesn't know their dream. And then like figure it out in a podcast. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
But yeah, guys, I hope this helped.
Oh, yeah.
Like asking those questions, like, what is your dream for one? And then do you need to just better articulate what that dream is, refine that, and then put in all those goals? But also, here's a big question. Are you doing the thing that gets you to your dream? And then if not, why not? That's what we want to know. Is like, what's stopping you? That's always my favorite question.
Yeah.
What's stopping you from that?
It's typically you.
And my new one is like,
there should be no excuse why.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 5 kids and my dream is to travel. I figure it out. It's expensive, but we figure it out,
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Sweet. Well, guys, stay strong.
And remember to keep on keeping on.
There we go.